congratulations on the wonderful op-ed that is in the USA Today, Congressman Biggs. And it's also kind of put you in the crosshairs as those people were saying that you are denying the science.
Yeah, well, thanks, James T. It's always good to be with you. And yeah, I'm glad we got that piece out in the USA Today. But this is stuff that we've been talking about now for weeks. Don't forget that their view of science was that we were going to first flatten the curve, and then we're going to get back to living. And people were willing to make that sacrifice, and the curve has been flattened. I mean, you saw Governor Ron DeSantis in Florida demonstrably repudiate the media yesterday, and he was using the facts and the science. I interviewed Dr. Scott Atlas, world-renowned physician, and speaking out on this. You've seen doctors signing letters, sending them out to the president, and the reality is the science has been distorted. Even Fauci himself has admitted that the models are unreliable, and the models going forward, they include the fact that you might have some increase because when increase in case fatality rate. But when you start taking the actual data and you start looking at and applying it, you'll see that this is right around any other very difficult bad influenza season that we would have. And that's numbers. That's the science. That's the science. So the people who are denying science are the ones who say that we need to hunker down for another 2 years until we get a vaccine.
One of the big themes that you've had even before the article came out, Congressman Biggs, is that the government allow Americans to do what's right for them, to trust Americans to do the right thing. And in this piece, you guys go so far as to say that in the end, Dr. Fauci and Dr. Birx are seeking to control our freedom. Can you please explain that?
Yeah, so what happens is when you tell people that they have to stay in their home for an extended period of time, you're preventing everyone from everything from First Amendment rights of speech, association, religious freedom, to Fourth and Fifth Amendment rights of due process, 14th Amendment rights as well. So you are abrogating rights in that sense. And so we've got we've got governors who have followed the admonition and guidelines. Now, they haven't mandated Fauci and Birx, but they've given guidelines. And those guidelines themselves have resulted in this tyranny that says, if you go to church, we're going to arrest you. If you go in California, this is how crazy it is. You go to California, you can go to the beach, but you can only touch wet sand. If you touch dry sand, we're going to arrest you. We're going to let hardened criminals out on the streets, but by golly, if you touch dry sand in California, we're going to arrest you and put you into the vacancies that are now in the prison system. This is how absurd this is, but they have abused with their singularity, particularly Fauci with his singularity of focus, has deviated from all of the societal and economic implications of his espoused policies.
Congressman Andy Biggs is in the center ring of the conservative circus. Those guidelines, those CDC guidelines and the guidelines from Fauci are being used as an excuse right here in Arizona to not fully open up. Do you have any observations about what's happening in your home state, Congressman Biggs?
Well, we need to be open up. Arizona's traditionally been rugged individualist who recognize individual freedom. We need to be opening up. And one thing I will say, James T., I was out driving around a couple places yesterday. I'm seeing more traffic on the road. I'm seeing more people come out. Thank goodness for the people of Arizona who are standing up and saying enough is enough. But this is now a nationwide movement to open up our society. And getting back to the numbers and science, don't forget this. Dr. Birx herself said late last week, well, I think we've overestimated COVID-related fatalities by at least 25%.
See,
that's from the lady who told you,
right? The
doctor who told you, hey, you must count everything, even if you only suspect it's COVID. Now she's saying, well, hey, it's probably in excess of 25%. That is from that person, and it's outrageous.
So we have an overcount that now is being admitted to. We also have some new CDC guidelines that coming out, Congressman Biggs, that says, you know what, COVID does not live on surfaces for as long as we thought that they used to. So, I'm sure Clorox was really disappointed to hear that, but it seems like we've got the experts, the health experts that are reversing themselves every step of the way here.
Yeah, I know. It's been kind of nutty. Don't forget, I mean, they also have put out new guidelines on how often you should wipe down your stuff at home. The same day that we're seeing information from them saying, well, it turns out it doesn't live really very long on surfaces. This is the same crowd that said initially, you don't need masks, and now they're saying you need masks. In Sky Harbor, you got next week when I fly back, I'm going to have to put a mask on just to go in. And last week, a University of Minnesota, a Lit Review study came out listing every study that has been done on masks. Guess what? They don't help. They don't do much.
Yeah.
They do very, very little. But people are doing it. It's just kind of a signal virtue, virtue signaling, I guess.